Hey, YouTube. Well, I said I'd be sitting there watching. How y'all doing? Y'all come on in. We want to talk about this interview between TASHA K and Kevin Samuels. Well, so far, there's no one showing up in my chat, so I don't know if it's because you guys are not here or because it's another sort of little glitch that will fix itself in a minute here. There you are. Hi, Frazier. Frazier Lori, Prima Wanda. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this situation with this Kevin Samuels thing. Y'all know the last couple of days I made several videos about this dude, Kevin Samuels, and I was offended by his attitude and the way he came at some of the people he was interviewing or people who appeared on his show. I didn't like it, right? So I went on here expecting fully to hate this person and to just take a lot of notes about why I hate him. That's what I went in there, right? So he was on with TASHA K tonight. Let me see what I wrote down. Okay. First question I want to ask. I'm trying to be fair here and unbiased. Kevin Samuels, here's what I want to know. You said you was raised in the projects. So yesterday I was wrong. I said you were maybe only 1 or 2 generations from poverty yourself. It looks like it was just 1 generation. In fact, it's in this generation that you were from poverty, right? Not a judgment. I lived a part of my youth in the projects as well. But you said you were raised by a single mother, right? You were raised primarily by women. Now, his living situation was almost identical to mine. I had 2 sisters and a mother and a grandmother who I love very much. He had 2 sisters and a mother and a grandmother he loved very much, right? So the situation is similar. In the course of this thing, he says that he was married twice, married and divorced twice, right? Okay, so here's the question. You're raised there was no working marriage in your household you were raised in. You said your father was a womanizer. He apparently had 11 or 12 children. He didn't go into it, but I assume that means that he was just dropping seed all over whatever city they're from. Oklahoma somewhere or something like that. So here's my question. How are you an expert on relationships when you are not raised around a relationship? I mean, some people still have 2 parents, they're from a household where there was an active relationship. This went on for many, many years, right? So you're not from that environment. We're not saying, I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to lay it out. Then you had 1 marriage where you married when you were very young, which did not work. And then you had a 2nd marriage and it did not work as well. So what I want to know is, why are you an expert on relationships and marriage? I don't understand that part. So we'll get back to that. Now, did I say hello to people? No, I got to stay concentrated. Okay. Okay. Now, see, I lost it already. Okay. Okay. The image consultant bit. Now, I can get that. I can accept that you are an image consultant. In other words, for these few Black men who are these movers and shakers in captains of industry, you want to show them how to dress and how to clean their fingernails and things like that. I don't know that is enough, though, to make a whole show out of, right? Hold on a minute here. Okay. This a little comedy. She said, TASHA K said, I'm a country girl. And he said, I am too. I kind of felt to see. We know that was a faux pas. Okay. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm getting from Kevin Samuels. He seemed like a decent person in this thing here. I mean, you can make yourself be whoever you want to be in front of the camera. But where was that monster that I saw in the last 2 days when you go through his videos and these horrible things that he says to these women, calling them fat pigs and so forth? Where did all that go? So I have an idea. Tommy Sotomayor has made several videos accusing this man of being a fan of his and stealing his material, right? So apparently, Kevin Samuels, a year ago, was making videos addressed to men because he was an image consultant, which would mean, I guess that's a thing. I don't know how many black people are functioning on the level, though, that he's presenting, or they're these big captains of industry where they would actually need an image consultant. But he said that it wasn't going so well when he was talking. Please wait while we try to reconnect it. Okay, so if anything goes wrong with the computer, they're saying it's unstable. We'll see. Anyway, stop these damn interruptions. Hope the dog's gonna start barking. So a year ago, okay, so he was apparently he confronted some woman and he told her that she thought she was a 10. He said she was a 5, right? He confronted her about what she brought to a relationship. Everything took off, everything changed, right? But this conversation was unique in as much as before he was just talking to men about their image, about what kind of tie to wear, what kind of shirt to wear, how to properly groom yourself, that kind of thing. Creating an image, right? After that conversation, suddenly he switched to, now I'm going to go after these women. His audience went from male to female, and it became very aggressive. Now, if anyone is being honest, it looks a whole lot like Tommy Sotomayor. So what I'm thinking is this: the person that we saw tonight, he was charismatic. He seemed like a pleasant person, not overtly gay like I thought he was. I mean, the clothes kind of say something, but not overtly effeminate or anything like that. But this seems like a decent human being. I'm trying to connect that person with this evil, mean person that I've seen talking to these women. And what I think I've come to the conclusion is he went viral when he presented this mean, rough confrontation, right? And he's been doing it ever since. So I think Tommy Sotomayor, and I've never said anything pleasant about Tommy Sotomayor at all, except when he sang that song about the titties hanging low and they dragging on the floor and they caught them titties in the back screen though. Other than that, I've never said anything pleasant about him. I don't like his character. What I'm thinking is he added the Tommy Sotomayor. He added the Tommy Sotomayor stick and his numbers started just climbing. So he's been on this spiral that's going straight up for the last year. But I don't want nobody coming on here acting like you're some big, huge success when this success is only went back a year, right? So this explains why he has this thing where he has to go after these women like this. It is the only thing that ever worked. And it worked big time because now he's approaching 1 million subscribers all in a year. They're saying he's the viral king at this point, right? Let me say hello to these people. I'm just so damn rude sometimes. Hi guys, how you doing? Y'all watch it? It was starting to get a little long, but I committed to. I wanted to hear what he had to say. Hi, Primo Wanda. We're here. There you go. Okay. I was waiting on you to comment on this. Yeah, I didn't wait a whole lot of time. Wasted a lot of time for it. I don't want to forget what I was thinking. Okay. You don't like Kevin Samuel? I think I'm beginning to think that what I don't like is this persona he added, which he borrowed from Tommy Sotomayor. So I think in this case, Sotomayor might be right because a lot of the language is almost identical to his approach to women as Sotomayor. And the thing, even how nasty and ugly it is, these people, whoever his audience are, they eat it up. They eat it up because he's gained 850,000 people in 1 year. And it only happened after he started going after these women in what he calls honest, but very vicious, nasty way. When he started confronting them about their weight, and what he says is telling the truth kind of thing, right? So he's so much about business, and he is 51 years old, and it's taken him till he was 50 to find something that worked. It is not strange then to understand why he insists upon getting meaner and meaner and meaner in these calls-ins he does, right? So maybe he's a great image consultant. Maybe that's his real stick, but it didn't bring in the views. Hi, RJ Supreme. Tropical Punch Kool-Aid. Oh, here we go. I knew it. Tropical Punch Kool-Aid. He was married to women twice. Both marriages did not work. So I'm trying to figure out, how did he become the expert then on marriage? I mean, if you're the expert on marriage, I want you to have a marriage. Now, even though he says they hit the gay issue, and I think they covered that in 1 minute. Out of all the time they talk, well over an hour, they hit that 1 minute. I'm not gay. Kind of sounds like Andrew. I'm not gay no more. Whatever. Are they in Atlanta? Y'all know better than I do. Are they in Atlanta? I thought he lived in Atlanta as well. You know, and Atlanta is, some people would say, the capital of download. That's where the word download came from with J.L. King, his book. And the concept of download among Black people, it was born out of Atlanta as far as I remember. Anyway, he barely touched on the subject of his sexuality, but he did say this. He said he has been accused of being gay since high school. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I were a straight man and I've been accused of being gay since high school, why would I come on with the costume or the outer of a gay man? I mean, if it annoyed me, if it bothered me, I think I would want to go a different direction. I would probably want a hyper masculine look, right? But he's apparently been accused of being gay for his entire life. He speaks about women, but we can't get around the fact, Kevin Samuels, that you are making a decent living. What you say is very important. You are 51 years old and you are unmarried, and you preach about marriage as if it's the ultimate goal. He says that he dates many women. They all know about each other. And at the other side of his mouth, he's saying, I never cheated. Well, are all those women under the impression that it's just a hookup? You don't believe in hookups. You say you never cheated on anybody, but are they clear that you never cheated on them? If you're having sex with all these different people? But he says he doesn't have sex with them. So I don't understand. Nothing was made clear about this person's sexuality. And it wouldn't even make a difference if he weren't preaching about these male, female, heterosexual relationships and the denial part, you know. So I'm no more clear about that. Perhaps they say that there are some heterosexual men who are naturally effeminate, right? I've seen it a couple times in my whole lifetime. There are some actors who have that, you know, everybody thought they were gay. That could be explained by the fact that he was raised around all women. So he's picked up mannerism, whether he wanted to or not. A lot of men who will attest to that, usually what they'll say is, I was raised in a house full of women, right? So, hold on. Okay, so it went viral. The video got 350,000 people, right? Background. He keeps talking about he was in corporate sales. He keeps talking about the corporate sales, you know. Okay, let me say it like this. Macy's is a corporation, right? If I'm selling something in menswear, I'm not going to be able to, excuse me. I've never had a little ADD myself. Kaya, ding, 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 dong, 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 dong. Ding, ding, ding. Stop looking at my ass. They're looking, baby. I know they're looking. They're trying to get a cheap thrill. Get that bum in there. I hope I didn't show too much. I'm not a Mr. Rico. Okay, where was that? Oh, this thing about femininity. Although I have to say, people, look at my faking face. If he ever sees this, I know he's going to chop my ass up. Anyway. Like I said, I spent some time in my youth in the projects. One of the primary reasons you lived in the projects was because there was no man in the house, right? There was no man in the house. That's what qualified most women to get these apartments, these townhouses in the projects, right? So it's not unusual to have these guys who were raised in houses full of women. They were all around us because basically no one had a father. If they had a father, they had to hide him or he had to sneak in because he wasn't supposed to be there. Because if there was a breadwinner in the house, if there was a male figure in the house, they wouldn't qualify to get in the projects, right? So he already said he was from the projects kind of thing. His background is not all that much different than where I came from. But hold on a minute. Okay. Okay. I was talking about corporate sales. Okay. The Foot Locker. The Foot Locker is a corporation, right? If I sell tennis shoes at the Foot Locker, am I then in corporate sales? There's not enough said here about what he means by he was in corporate sales. You did what? For who? See, this exaggeration of what could possibly just be a spin on things. Because somebody said that he was making $900 a month. That sounds like a retail job. So anytime you work in retail, you're technically working in corporate sales. Now, was he working in the head office? Is totally different, but he doesn't make that clear, right? There's some vagularities there. Now, also, you have to realize that if you go to Neiman Marcus or you go to a high-end store, if you go to Saks Fifth Avenue, they have image consultants there. I mean, that's where they come from, right? They're dressing men. They're selling men's suits, things like that, right? So, and that's the way they dress, the way he dresses. If you go to Neiman Marcus, buy a suit, you will find the image of Kevin Samuels. All that with the skinny ties and the tight-fitting suits and all that kind of stuff. All that could easily come out of there. So what's he saying by he worked in corporate sales? I would have to know more about that. Okay. Then his ego tells him that by people listening to him insult these women online, that has created relationships. He says that he's responsible for people getting together. He takes responsibility for them being married. I mean, people meet. You didn't do that, Kevin Samuels. God did that. God made attraction. God made it to where someone walks in the door and something in you and something in them connects. That ain't got nothing to do with no damn image consultant. That's got to do with the thing that happens natural many times between a man or a woman, or if you are homosexual, between a man and a man. It happens and it's a natural thing. So I don't know about taking responsibility now. These people got married because of me. These people are staying in long-term relationships because of you. I don't think that's the way it works, brother. Right? And I'm not trying to be here hyper critical here. I'm trying to just tell you my impression of this interview with TASHA K. Although I have to say this, TASHA K, I'm sure he was unimpressed with your presentation. I mean, you did have on a t-shirt, belly. Tasha's put on some weight since COVID, apparently. I mean, she did a great interview, I thought. I'm not criticizing like that, but I'm just saying, in comparison to him sitting up there with suit and tie, and her sitting there with jeans and a t-shirt, it's a little off. I'm sure in his mind. I'm sure that's not the way he likes to see a woman dressed. Okay. So, all right. So I don't buy that thing. They got together because of you, because they met on your show, or they were wherever they meet it, honey. If I go to Safeway and the motherfucker's hot and I like him, you know, I can't say Safeway put us together. That's where I saw him at. I liked him, you know. Anyway, so when he says that, is he saying that he is a matchmaker or a marriage consultant as well? Because he's still presenting himself as an image consultant. I'm not sure exactly who would need an image consultant. Usually, when people start making money, they start dressing better. Why? Because they buy better suits. They buy better clothes, right? So I don't know if trimming the hair, the nose hairs and all that kind of detail kind of stuff is what he's selling. I'm not sure what he's selling exactly, but I'm just not getting hip to him a couple of days ago. So be patient, people. I'll be there in 1 second. He says okay, back to the gay issue. Of course, I was in there primarily for that. Get my light right. Okay, so why has he been accused of being gay so often? I mean, why is that the thing to call him gay? It seems to me that it wouldn't take that much then to tap down all of these purses and all of these things that are usually associated with gay men with a certain amount of taste, but people who are paying an inordinate whatever amount of attention to their appearance. Straight men are really not like that. I don't think. I think a lot of times heterosexual men, they had wives who helped them a lot. I've seen a lot of married men. If they didn't have a wife, I mean, they probably wouldn't even comb their damn hair. So women play a big role in that. I don't know if he's taking that role or what. But he said, "What they say I'm gay, but they never see me with a man. They never see me kissing anybody. See, it's all about did we catch you doing anything?" So I don't know what to say about this man's sexuality, and I'm not even convinced of how important his sexuality is. Is the lion for me, honey. Anyway, they've been calling him a queen, so he went through all what we went through in high school. Although I didn't get a lot of that in high school. They couldn't tell I was gay, so I don't know what it is about him. A straight man would have all these people thinking he was gay. It's got to be more than clothes, because a lot of people wear nice clothes. It's got to be more about mannerism that I imagine that can happen when you're raised with all women. But what I was saying about the projects was all those guys, I don't remember any of them appearing to be gay, and they all were raised in houses with nothing but women. Straight men are just straight men, and there's certain characteristics that go to gay men, right? So I don't know that I would necessarily because he was raised in a house full of women, that would make him effeminate. But I've heard that excuse before. Okay. The 2 marriages, he don't go into the details of that. I hope TASHA K not going to try to contact the wives. She said in this interview, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try to contact the wives. Okay. I'm almost done here with my notes. Then we'll talk. He's selling it. Okay. Right. So I think I've already made the point that, okay, he's telling everybody about relationships and so forth. How did he fall into relationships, though, if he was an image consultant? Aren't these two different things, really? He done fell into these relationship stuff. But it's not, I just think it's strange when you don't have a relationship, you're 51 years old, you've been married twice, both marriages failed, you were raised in a house full of women, there was no father in the home, no one's ever exemplified heterosexual relationship before you weren't raised around it, is what I'm saying. So I don't know what makes you an expert then on relationships. Okay, I think I started off by saying that. Okay. He says he's never cheated. He's never cheated, but dates many women. And he makes a point to say, no, I've never been paid. Tasha was getting a little messy here. She was talking about how some other people she's interviewed is saying that some guy likes to be, the woman to jump on him and pump him in the booty and all this kind of stuff. He says, no, I've never been paid by anyone. No one's ever seen me kiss anybody, but not anything freaky. He sounds like kind of a boring type of person, but he is keeping his sexual orientation close to vest, because if I were to say to you, I'm not gay, if I am bisexual, I would not consider myself gay. So you see, I would not be lying. I'm not gay. Gay means you're totally attracted to men only. If you're attracted to both, somebody said pansexual, whatever, then you're not gay. Transgender women most of them that I've ever talked to don't consider themselves to be gay. Even though they're part of the LGBTQ, they're still not gay. They don't consider them gay, male and a female. They consider themselves female and a male still, even though they've become a female, right? Okay. So he's been presented now as this is a successful business person. And the thing is, Kevin Samuels, you've only been successful for a year. Do you know he's been on YouTube for years, right? Apparently he was talking to men before it wasn't so successful, right? We've been on lockdown for a year. He said out of his own mouth that a lot of his popularities was because people were at home. So we can't present this man as some successful man because he's never really been successful in the world. He's been successful for the time that we have been on lockdown from COVID. So it's all taking place right in front of his computer, right? Okay, I think that's what I have to say about this whole thing. What do you guys got to say? Did y'all like the interview? Mm-hmm. See, I didn't come on there calling people sissies and things like that. I think he needs to drop that whole Tommy Sotomayor impression he does. I don't listen to Tommy Sotomayor, but because this story made me interested, he made some very good points about when this guy took on this persona, when he started behaving this way with these women online, and that he was watching Tommy Sotomayor, what a lot of straight men do, or a lot of men do, for 2 years, basically studying him because he's using the same rhetoric, right? In new packaging, but he might be drawing the same audience. My opinion. Hi there, Frazier. I know some of y'all watch or will watch. It just went off from a few minutes ago. So I was waiting on the comment on this. Okay. Hello, Unc Tim. You don't like him? Okay. So mad. I don't like him because of the way he performed on his phone calls. This is something he took from Tommy Sotomayor. He's doing a Tommy Sotomayor impression, and that is the part that is so disgusting to me. Right? I think that he has the popularity now. Work it in a different way. You can drop that whole Tommy Sotomayor impression because that is the part that is so nasty. But apparently, that is the part that people tune in to watch, and he knows that because he was a fan of Tommy Sotomayor. If you watch somebody, I mean, if you watch people long enough, honey, you know the spiel. Who is Kevin Samuel? Well, Justice Power. He's in here under his own name, Justice. So you can just go on there or go to the TASHA K interview and you'll find out who he is, right? He didn't appear to be so mean and nasty to me as he did in the last couple of days. But when you go to those phone calls, it could be Tommy, a well-dressed Tommy. Blood honey? What blood honey? Oh, you're speaking to somebody else. Mm-hmm. How to clean their finger? Well, they got to know how to clean their fingernails, those nose hairs. I know he have a field day with me, not only from this mess, but I've never been able to do my mustache right. But whatever, he got every hair in place. And if you are building yourself as I'm an image consultant, which you could easily have learned that at Macy's and say that you were in corporate America, because Macy's is a corporation and you were image consultant for them, right? Don't you ladies go to the perfume counters? Somebody accused me of even doing that job for a while. Like, don't these boys in the high end department stores, aren't they there to show you how to dress or what looks good on you, to help you try on things and all that kind of stuff? Isn't that what an image consultant is? I don't know. But he's vague about what that means when he says he worked in corporate America. God damn, if you work at McDonald's, you're working in corporate America. What does that mean exactly? So I don't like people playing with my head, you know. He said he always says he went to college, but someone said he never finished college. He just went there. He said, I didn't like that. So I went to work at some goddamn being a waiter somewhere. Like that's a reasonable choice you would make. a lot of material from others. Didn't he say he had a background in sales? Well, isn't that sales? Sales could be a lot of different things, honey. You can sell airline jets for $60 million a piece, or you can sell men's suits for $500 a piece. He's vague about that. To say I worked in corporate America, there's somebody else on here that says that kind of shit too. It makes me wonder about what they call in corporate America because you are a waiter or whatever. Okay, a perfume sprayer at Macy's. Okay, that's the third time I've heard that. They do that. They dress up just like him. I mean, their company kind of wants them to dress like that. I used to work with department stores, and I was always amazed that they wanted us to. They gave us 10% off the clothes, right? But they expect the salespeople to dress like the customers. Only the customers, maybe they're making $70,000, $100,000 a year, and then the salespeople, maybe they're making $15,000 a year. But they want you to look like them, and you will find that you go to a high-end store, they always look good, sharp. So is that where the working in corporate America came from? I've not been impressed with that. Okay. Pray tell. You might pray tell. Lord have mercy. That when I looked at that Sotomar video, I went to watch one of them, and he was saying that he looked like Tim Gunn on Project Runway, and that fool, he went and put them side by side, and he had Kevin Samuels next to Tim Gunn. I'll be damned if they didn't have the same clothes on. I mean, they had almost the exact same outfits on. They looked a whole lot alike. The grooming was down. They're both about the same age as well. That was kind of funny. The shoe department at Dillard's. That's corporate America, right? Is Dillard's a corporation? Well, I mean, if you have a YouTube channel, it don't go nowhere. Nobody's watching you. You're talking to men about, I guess, I don't know what the hell he's talking to them about how to wear a suit. I mean, a suit, men's clothing, it really doesn't change that much, honey. I'm glad they finally coming out of the little monkey suits. They had them. They were coming just a little past the waist, them little short suits with the short sleeve. Oh, they're so ugly to me. It looked like little monkeys. But only slim people could wear those, right? It looks like the jacket size is going down a little bit more now. But men's suits only change about every 7 years, I believe it is. Well, they change anything. Just the width of the tie or the collar on the shirt. Men's suit, they didn't change that much. So if you're willing to wash your ass and keep a haircut, I mean, you put a suit on, the suit. What? I mean, you recommend a certain color shirt? Image consultant, what do you mean? Shut your old ass up. Every time somebody gets successful in the black community, your ass always, get your ass out of here. What's your name? Karamari Spencer. Mr. or Mrs. Spencer, get your old ass up. What are you, a young ass? If you don't get your goddamn ass about here, girl, we're talking about an interview that took place 10 minutes ago. You don't like it? Get your motherfucking ass up. Thank you. Oh, funny looking motherfucker. I bet you funny looking, son of a bitch. Corporate sales comes with company shares, pensions, thousands. Well, apparently he didn't have any of that because I guess he had a problem paying his $300 spousal support. Some of y'all follow him. Y'all know all about that man. I don't know that much about him. I know about what I could look through today. You have to wear all black at Macy's every day at Macy's. Okay, you got to wear all black, a black suit. Okay. I worked at Robinson's Beverly Hills and I worked at Neiman Marcus. But Neiman Marcus pulled one on me. They had me working in the goddamn market. I went there for a set. I went from working at Robinson's Beverly Hills. I applied to work at men's suits. That's what they advertise, right? So I went to Neiman Marcus. And the lady, she's all nice and all this. I thought I had a job. I thought I'd come up because I was selling housewares at Robinson's. And then I went there. And then when I showed up for work, I showed up in a suit. And they marched me down to the marketing room where there was all Mexican and black people. They had one black man on the whole damn floor. It was very humiliating. Okay, so far you said nothing about the facts, data, statics. I'm not doing statistics. I don't do all that. Kevin is going over 1 million subscribers. Well, good for him, honey. What do you want me to say about it? We're just talking about a goddamn interview. We able to talk about him? He even said out his own damn mouth, you got to expect people to talk about you. That's what this whole damn thing is. He ain't got no damn man. He got 850,000. So more than likely he will, but baby, those kind of careers that happen like that, just like that, honey, it could all fall to shit. So be aware of that. Kevin Samuels said himself, a year ago when the whole country was going on lockdown, is when he went viral with one video. And he's been going on the up. People got to know who he was. He had been hanging around for 4 years. It all started since we've been on lockdown. So he's never been a success in the world. He's been a success on here, right? So all we were just saying was how much of this former life of his was just hype. It could be hype. He said he's a consultant, image consultant, making an image, honey. Maybe gay doesn't fit in with his image. Hey, I live in Atlanta, not gay, but folks want good to decent jobs and to be able to enjoy their own time, like-minded people. Take the focus on Savannah. I don't know Savannah, Georgia. Okay. I was very impressed by Atlanta. I went for the first time at the beginning of this thing. He ain't gonna do nothing, gonna mess his bag up. I don't know how being gay would mess his bag up, really. If that's his truth, that is his truth. I mean, there are cases, there are people who have the outward appearance of being homosexual, particularly when they're overgroomed. But a man can only do so much, honey. I mean, it's not like this man is on here with fake eyebrows or anything like that. He's clean cut. He washes his face, shaves his face, he puts on a suit. I mean, a suit is one thing of clothing, right? When you put a suit on, you're instantly dressed up. So I don't know this consultant thing. I mean, what would you consult? If you got enough money, you buy a good suit. If you are poor, you buy a cheap suit. Right? Y'all see how people as soon as they get money, honey, the hair start looking better, nails start looking better, face start looking better, the makeup's better, everything's better. Why? Because they're making money. They buy the best shit. I had 3 babies out of wedlock. They are all successful, and so am I. And it wasn't easy. Thank God for my parents. All right. Yeah, he's kind of hard on people. Like he was hard on that woman a couple of days ago who couldn't concentrate, and she had 4 kids, and she got some kind of assistance, perhaps. Who the hell is he? He's from them projects. I mean, is that the way you talk to your mama? Wasn't your mama a single parent? Weren't your aunties, weren't they single women? I mean, don't come on here pretending to be something that you're not. Honey, you're very well versed at it. You said you were raised in a house with all women, and if you were in the projects, every household was all women, right? So why would you be so hard on women, on single women then? There's a disconnect there. Like I said before, it's that thing about that pretending thing. So when you value image over substance, then perhaps that's what business he's in, honey. I was raised by a single mother. My stepfather was so horrible, honey. I was glad to see that nigga go, honey. That was the greatest day of my whole damn youth. I don't think it matters, but if he's misrepresenting his sexuality, folks on both sides with be upset. Both invalidate his heterosexual relationship advice. You had 2 marriages, they both failed, you know. So what makes you an expert then? I mean, how are you gonna tell me how to run my marriage, my relationship, when you can't run your own, right? He is being honest, being hard. Calling people fat is not being honest, being hard, honey. Everybody know we fat. Shit. Just look around. Go to church and you sit in the back row and tell me if you can figure out that people is fat. We got issues, honey. They don't take no goddamn rocket science. If I get asked that shit one more time. Mental health, Mona, are you being mean? What is going on with that? No, okay, let's get this shit clear right now. That would be earns. These people keep asking me. These people keep asking me, are those dead people in these pots? No. Are y'all in there? Come on in, goddamn. People, those are Oriental vases. They are either ceramic or they are porcelain, and they are decorative. No, there are no dead people in there. Right? I live in San Francisco, so Asian art. Well, blue pots are, I guess, popular anywhere, but it's a real popular look here. I kind of picked up and I started collecting. But no, there are no dead people in there, honey. Hold on. Stop looking at my ass. I gotta start using these damn suspenders. I bought them, but I only put them on when I go outside. So I don't like that look. Your pants sagging. Damn near 70 years old and still around here with your booty out, child. Okay, where are we at? Did I answer for you, mental health, Mona? Mm-hmm. Dead people. I see dead people. I don't think so. Okay. Who is that up there? Thank you, the real Dana. I love your vases and bust statues. Right. I have some more in my bedroom. So I got so obsessive with them that I had to take them, some of them out of here and put them in there. But no dead people. Some are old and some are new. Some of them, I think a couple of them, I just got from Pier 1. Half of them. Okay. There's a sucker born. Well, listen, if you were on YouTube, you have a YouTube channel. Let's say you have a channel like mine. You got 20,000 people watching you, and you come up with some video and you're talking about big head pygmies, whatever. One day you talk about big head pygmies. All right. And your views go from 3,000 to 300,000 in that same night. Now, what would you do with that? I think you'd be talking about big head pygmies a lot, right? So what I'm suggesting to you, Kevin Samuels, is since you have this platform now, you can move away from being an asshole just for clicks and views. You don't have to do that anymore. I think Tommy is right. I tend to think that he could be right with that, right? You don't have to do that anymore. Just be yourself. If you have something to present, then just present what you have to present. But now you've made your show like some people on here do. They'll take StreamYard and that become their whole show. So basically, they just open the phone lines up and they sit down. So this is what you're doing. Is like the video I was criticizing yesterday is a woman calling in and you just sit there and insult her for a half hour, right? Maybe you don't have to sell yourself out like that anymore. Just be yourself. Because it could be the clash of these two personalities, which people are finding so offensive. and why they want to go after your sexuality and all that kind of stuff, right? Because you're trying to be, if you are a sensitive man, soft-spoken man, an image consultant, and you're trying to merge that with this shock jock, maybe is not such a great marriage for you. I know people look in, but you can find other ways, honey. Just gotta try. Wait a minute, hold on. Just gotta try to flash. Oh my goodness. Cambridge Carter, behave yourself. Behave yourself. That viral thing is something else. Look at the example of Andrew Caldwell. Now, what the hell has Andrew Caldwell got to bring to the world for real? Nothing. He went viral one night. Andrew Caldwell went viral because he said, I'm not gay no more. Hold on, open the window. And now here we are 5 years later, and he's still writing that one viral thing. That's essentially what this guy's doing. He went viral, he got some popularity, and he just wrote it. Right? The urns. That tickles me. All them dead people. I've seen him several times. People have asked me that. Haven't been a whole lot of dead people. No, honey. No, everybody didn't die. Most of the HIV deaths that happened all in LA. So I don't know that many that died up in here, honey. I ain't got that many people to bury, honey. When you have nice things, people determine you shouldn't enjoy them. Well, I guess I decorate like he decorates his body. His thing is clothing, you know. Everybody likes something, you know. They could have talked more about this gay thing, because that would be a good conversation to have with him. Tell us about what it's like then to be a heterosexual man who's been accused of being a homosexual man for your entire life. Why do you think that is? And since you're an image consultant, do you think that you could actually influence that? Could you change that? Because nobody's doing what they were doing at 17 or what they're doing at 51, right? Do you think maybe some of the purses and the Coach bags and things like that, maybe that is drawing that kind of attention to you? Or what is it? It could be an interesting conversation. Mm-hmm. Raised in a house of women allows a man to see the inner workings of women, like having a front row seat at an NBA game. Okay, Jack. Okay, Jack. A lot of us came out of single family homes, single parent homes, mothers. A lot of men were raised by mothers. But in the projects, we still had thugs. We still had hoodlums. Believe me, we had hoodlums. That didn't determine who we were necessarily. He's not overtly effeminate. I would say that he has traits I consider like a sensitive, kind of almost like a white man or something. You know, he's not as hard as you would expect coming from wherever he came from. I disagree. Black women, as a collective, feel they can be out of shape, continue to create kids, yet demand men at a certain level. How many of these men are there at this certain level? These $100,000. I think what he was saying tonight, though, there aren't that many at that level. They don't exist, honey. And if they do exist, usually they're married men. You want that? A lot of them, maybe they are more independent because they've had to be, right? I mean, maybe if you're bringing home the bacon long enough, and you got to raise the kids, you know, and you got to pay all the goddamn bills by yourself, maybe it does kind of raise your standard. You say, listen, like Tyler Perry said, honey, I can do bad all by myself. I was already doing this when you pulled up, nigga. Oh, excuse my language. Let me try to control myself. Listen, after my mother's horrible divorce, she would date maybe once every 5 or 6 years, somebody would come show up, right? So she met this dude who lived down the street from us. And he came over. I guess they were kind of dating, talking, whatever. And he came over and he turned the game on, right? And he was sitting here, he watching TV, and it looked like it was like an hour. I kept seeing her pace back and forth like there, right? And eventually she came into the living room and she turned the TV off. We don't watch TV here. This is a working house. So I can see it. He said, well, damn, baby. We don't watch TV here, she said. Mm-hmm. We're talking about your deco. People don't want you. Yeah, I like decorating. I mean, it's always been my thing. Even when I was broke, I always decorated. Even when I was a dope fiend, and I know I was going to go to jail within a few months, right? I never stayed on the street more than a year. So in that time, I had my whole house all decorated up fancy. And then they come and bust me. Usually they either knock the door down or I open the door up or whatever. And the cops were so mean, they would leave the door open and then everybody just go help themselves to whatever I've collected all year. But in that 1 year, though, I'd be fully into whatever hotel rooms I was in. And when I had to move, I had to tell the boys, I had to call the boys, we got to move. And we move all that shit out to another hotel room, whatever. It's just something that's in you. Case in point. Okay. Jay Farmer. Okay. You taking the male perspective here. You can't find a black woman in the gym. Oh, that's not true. But go to a Chinese beauty supply. So you believe that Jay Farmer, Farm D, you believe then that by Kevin Samuels coming in there telling you you don't go to the gym enough, you're fat. I mean, what does that do? I mean, how does that move the needle any kind of way? I mean, do you know how many people have weight issues? I mean, aren't gyms, isn't that a multi-million-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry? Then the diet pills, that's another multi-billion-dollar. People have been struggling with weight, honey, since the beginning of time. Right? What is he adding to the story? Just to tell me I'm fat? That don't do nothing for me. I mean, I think there's some entertainment value there because they follow Tommy and Tommy would just say hideous shit and the women in the chat. So I imagine some men like to go on there and hear people talk shit about black women. Maybe that's how they feel. I think a big part of the problem with black male, just my own opinion, they just don't make enough money. When you've been discriminated against and you have not reached even when you've been to college and all that, and you still are not making the kind of money you should be, if you were white, you would be making, you haven't had the success, I believe that affects your relationships. I believe a lot more men would hang around if they could provide a home for their family. I think maybe sometimes the pressure is just too much. But why you want the woman to be perfect if your ass ain't perfect? You ain't perfect. You're the ones that keep leaving, right? I see dudes all the time bragging about how many babies they got and baby mamas, like it's a collection or something. But now, since they started arresting them asses behind child support, they're not so eager to brag about how many children they got. But it used to be a thing. A lot of these straight dudes, they're not interested in a long-term relationship. They don't even know what that is. They just know I can make a baby. So women, you got to protect yourself, take care of yourself until you're ready. And the other thing is, women are they're on a time clock. So if they even start having their babies by the time they're 30, I'd imagine a woman would like to have kids with or without him. And a lot of them, I think, choose just to, if I can't find one that's suitable, I'll just have the kids. It's still my family. That's why we got, I mean, it's like 70% of black women are unmarried. I mean, we don't love it. Nobody loves it. It is what it is. Jay Farmer, why are you so mean? Are you a male or female? Where are all these so-called black businessmen with their own company? Child, you go to a black neighborhood, honey, maybe every eighth or ninth business might be owned by a black person. Still, they still own every goddamn thing. Child, they don't. There's so few that are on success, the level he's talking about. I mean, why is he already talking about Bill Gates' marriage? The fuck you talking about? You don't cover no other celebrities, but you're going to cover Bill Gates. Bill Gates worth $150 billion. Every 5 or 6 years, what is that? When men's fashions change? I thought it was 7 years was the number. They just increased the lapel, but a man's suit is still a man's suit. A man's suit in the 1920s is not that much different from a man's suit now. Y'all seen Faro? Chocolate Bay. How you doing, Chocolate Bay? Mama T, seriously. What Mama T done did now? I never heard hetero men complain about women so much. They gonna put it all on the woman's back. Ain't that a bitch? Here, I'm taking care of the whole house, paying half the rent. And you want me to be slim and trim too? Girl, please. I ain't going to no damn gym working out for 3 hours a night for your ass. Said a bitch. Make my money. Hell, you make demands and things. Maybe he considers himself speaking up for the black man. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be an interesting book when it comes out. Books are only interesting, though, if they're going to tell the truth. If they ain't going to tell the truth, you might as well shut up. If he told his story, honey, here's why I was in the closet, or if I was in the closet, or here's why, I don't know why they call me that, or whatever. And then does he live in Atlanta, Georgia? A lot of white single mothers don't let them fool you. Oh, yes, honey. There are more white people on welfare than there are black people. Do y'all ever see some of the small towns, the way women, they're not that much different. They're just holding on to their whiteness because there's something, it's like some kind of status or something. But no, there's tons of single mothers. Tons of waitresses raising kids. You got to stop demonizing each other, honey. What are you supposed to do? He acted like that other woman supposed to just give her kids away, give them to the state. So you complaining on one hand about somebody getting welfare, and then on the other hand, you want them to give them to the state so the state can take care of 4 kids. Make it make sense. My impression is, boy, he stumbled into this damn thing, and he became a pseudo Tommy Sotomayor because it brought in views. Sold your soul for $1 bill. And so it could change, brother. We all about to come off lockdown now. So don't assume. So again, maybe he's going to go from being an image consultant now to being a relationship consultant. Aren't those 2 different things? Make some more story time videos. Okay. I'll try to think of some, Mike. Most of my stories are not ready for prime time, huh? They're not ready for prime time, Mike. This people kill me with this shit. They want to judge the drug dealers, but take your ass and pick at the goddamn liquor stores, because liquor does a whole lot more damage. Or just as much. Hi, Deborah Mitchell. Did I even speak? I'm so sorry. Make some, okay. Let's not deflect. We need to prioritize getting healthy. Oh, yes, of course. You do it for yourself, though, baby. Deborah Mitchell. Yeah, we all need to get healthy for ourselves. But it's just like dealing with an alcoholic, honey. Going and telling a drunk, you are drunk. Okay, so what's next? You gonna buy me a drink? The man gotta want to be sober, and that's why he'll be sober, right? Yeah, we can all take personal responsibility, but don't be because of some dude on YouTube told you. He just going to come on here and insult you for clicks and views. Hell, y'all saw my fat ass when I got up. I'm not ashamed. I'm saying, well, girl, I made it to 63, so that's already a blessing. Or fertile get pregnant. Okay, sometime gasp, women who are fertile get pregnant before the couple is ready for marriage. Imagine that. Very often people get. I mean, aren't all of those teenage pregnancies, aren't those mostly accidents? If they don't dispose of the fetus, damn, you have a single mother unmarried. But everybody does not consider it to be the ultimate sin to be a single mother, right? And some people have been so damaged by the relationships that they've been in that they prefer to be a single parent, right? I mean, it's nothing better than a good marriage where you love each other and support each other, and he makes you feel good and you make him feel good, and all that stuff is fantastic. That is that I think it's the greatest thing in creation. But what am I talking about? God damn it. A good marriage. But you don't want to be in no bad marriage. So if you want to have a family, if you want to have children, isn't that part of what a woman desires though? Males too. A lot of men, they want a male to carry their seed. A lot male and female, I guess it is then. They still have desires of normal, what you call normal people. They still want families. They still want, but if it can't be perfect, are you willing to say, I just won't participate at all? What if you get to be 30 years old and you have not found the right man? Or what if you've been in a relationship and it was horrible? And you say, listen, if I don't have a baby in the next 2-3 years, honey, it's over. So maybe a lot of times people just say, listen, I want to be a mother. I want my own family. Right? With or without him. And unfortunately, many times in our communities, these women choose to have the family anyway. They're not all miserable. Everybody gets pregnant, not miserable. Shit, most of them are very happy about it. We have this idea of we're able to have the same relationships as other people. I think it comes down to, baby, I hate to say everything is about money. Ain't it funny? Ain't it funny? Sometimes no money can turn your life around. Say to me. What is this? Do you have a Zoom or stream? No, I won't have them. I'll join and articulate my points on camera. Well, Jay, you got to do it. It's another channel. I'm sorry. I can't do the Zoom thing. I can't do it because it takes too much to control it for me. For me, that Zoom and that StreamYard stuff, all that yelling, hollering, screaming, I don't think anything gets across. So I couldn't do it. Some people can do it. I listen into them, and sometimes I'll go on to them as a guest, but I have no desire to get involved with that. Okay, so sorry about that. But there are plenty of them around, though, Jay Palmer. Or you could even go talk to the Samuels guy. I have not researched him enough to cast judgment and say this is a horrible person. I can just say he presented as a horrible person when I saw the videos when I went over there to research him. I think I watched one full one and a couple of small ones. So you can't judge a person but by just that. But what I am seeing is two different characters. I'm seeing this one guy who is this decent, intelligent person who is an image consultant or builds himself as an image consultant. And then I'm seeing this other person who's become a pseudo Tommy Sotomayor, where he's just a shock jock. And he gets to come on here and say insulting things to women because he knows people will watch. Now, whether these are angry men who are watching or these are women who feel so pulled up and above it all that they find it amusing to put other people down, there are those types too, I'm sure. For whatever reason, this man has been able, I think that going viral thing is what did it though, because look at somebody like Andrew. What's interesting about Andrew? Yet he went viral on that one video and he's been able to ride the damn thing for 5 or 6 years. So it makes a difference. They have stories on YouTube about people who have gone viral, and most of them, they have, a little time. You got to maintain it. Andrew, He throws himself out in front of a bus, give you some drama every time the numbers start go down a little bit. I don't know how in the hell he getting evicted. He's riding around in Maseratis, and what's his name? Larry Nelson said he saw him in a Rolls Royce drop top. So apparently they're renting cars. You ain't buying Maseratis and Rolls Royces in the same year. But whatever it is, you still got to pay them. Deborah Mitchell says, Uncle Tim, watch a few more Kevin Samuels videos in full. The clips are all over social media, are sensationalized. Oh, that makes sense. I'm sure I will. I mean, tonight I was going into the interview with Tasha. I thought I was going to go in there and just rip him apart, but I thought it was okay. I wasn't offended by, but I saw no traces of that character that he plays with this nasty person. There was none of that there. None of it. He did mention, well, look at Howard Stern. Okay, so you're watching Tommy Sotomayor and you're watching Howard Stern, right? Before you went viral a year ago. What does it tell you? You know, because you ain't got to do everything for money, honey. I'm sure it's probably a piece of change because you're getting 300,000 and 400,000 people watching videos. That turns into a piece of money, especially when you start getting endorsements and all that. So he says that's next. But Kevin Samuels, don't wait too long, honey. Your flame could burn out very quickly. So cash in if you must. But I think that's what he's doing with the way he's treating these people on the phone lines. I think it's just a routine, right? It's just like show business. All right, I just want to come in and give you guys my take on that interview. I'd advise you to go and check it out. It's a pleasant interview, you know. They spent 1 minute on the gay issue, and then they came back for another 1 minute. So it's been a total of 2 minutes. Maybe we will never know the truth, but there's a possibility. You know, there's always somebody in the bush, right? I met him in Cleveland, Ohio in 1906. Oh, he did everything. Whatever. Just a minimum to say that a woman deserves no. Okay. No, a woman does deserve respect, and a man deserves respect. Everybody deserves respect. You know, that was so offensive to me because I feel like the person maybe had a disability, and I just thought it was so cruel to treat somebody that way. You don't treat anybody that way, honey. You know, when I walk the streets now, I sold drugs in this town here for 10 years. Ain't nobody come up to me talking about, motherfucker, remember what you did? Bam, bam. Decently. No matter who the hell they were. If they're on down on their luck or way up high, it's all the same. Treat people with respect. So don't disrespect people because you have a little clout. That's showing the ugly side of you. Tim, he isn't calling them. They call him. Yeah, that's just still. They want to be on the radio, honey. And maybe they like him. Maybe they think he'll be decent to me. He'll be nice to me. He needs to turn off Tom and Sotomayor, or he's over there hot. He done made 9 or 10 videos about him, calling him all kind of queens and all that, because simply because Kevin Samuels won't admit that he stole a lot of his material from him. He developed that character watching Tommy Sotomayor and that other dude that I just mentioned. What's his name? Shock jock guy. It sounds like a lot would be accomplished. You just admit that, okay, I was watching you for a long time. I admired you. And maybe that I'm sure a lot of that bleeded into what I turned into my character that I use in my show. Right? I would just say, drop that part now. You have your clout. Now find ways to capitalize on your 15 minutes. Grow from it. If Andrew can do it, so can you. So being fat warrants disrespect? Hell no. Well, nobody talk to you disrespectfully unless they're paying your bills. And quiet is kept, even if they are paying your damn bills, you still are worthy of respect. You don't just. That's why I don't understand why people always want to get with some rich person. I mean, I know women do that more than men, you know, because it's kind of the role kind of thing. But I ain't never wanted no sugar daddy, even when I was young and gorgeous. Ooh, when I was young and gorgeous. I ain't want no motherfucker, no sugar daddy. I don't mind paying my bills. They tend to be arrogant. They expect a lot from you. They say, I'm paying all their damn bills, so I want this, and this. I never had that desire, but I'm not a woman. So maybe it's a little different. Some guys do like that. They like to use their youth to get what they want. No, I never had it in me. Okay, Jay, you want to go here and talk about fat and stuff. Lord have mercy. Well, y'all got to talk alone. Talk among yourselves. Good night. Have a good night, people. Later.